Okay, so we're starting again. And the virus Seder HaKaddish shall kodem hodu l'Hashem kiru. V'agav, and on the way, the virus so call Kaddish. It's Hakel Yisbarach. So Dakin until this point, Nechlalos Ha'asiyah B'Yitzira. That's what we're working on, moving through the Karbanos, and now moving up into Pesuki de Zimra. But still, in that process, we did the Shlosh Geson, a new idea. They haven't received from Yitzira, because Yitzira has a whole Naranchi of lights. We have to bring them the actual essence of Yetzirah, to make them, I guess, part of Yetzirah is the Ruach of Yetzirah. And that happens as a result of the Kaddish that we say before Hodu. Of course, we're talking here about Nusach Sfard. Nusach Sfard or Sfardi. So he says, now we're at number Ches, and we're going to read from Ches in the Teva Kavonos. So V'tarach l'kapa b'zecha b'kadish v'zecha kavonos sheyesh l'kavim bo be'es amir s'kadish hazeh ki yesh b'ro b'shtecha b'pamim esrim v'shmona. There are in the Kaddish there are 2 counts of 28. V'shtei pamim arba v'shtayim, and 2 counts of 42. 42 and 28 make 70, just for side information. So he says in the Nusach of the Kaddish, Yesh shtei pamim mispar koach, so he just spells it out, and 2 times there's mab. So he says esrim v'shmona v'arbaim v'shtayim v'rishonim. What do they have to do with the hem shel osius? Now this reminds us of course, learning with Rabbi Memrin about this. V'hakoach v'hamamab rishonim sheyesh b'nusach HaKaddish hem koach osios umab osios dehainu, and he's going to tell us, spell it out. He said v'ki esrim v'shmona osios hem min this phrase in our Siddur, Yehei Shmei Rabba Bevarach, etc., ad milas olmaya. So that's 28 letters there. And what we get out of this 28 letters, he says, HaKoach HaRishon Shehema Osios, Heim Ramozin B'Koach Osios Sheyesh B'Nusach HaKaddish, B'Tevis Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach L'Olam Olam Lamaya, etc. Shehem Sheva Tevos, which actually comes out to be, in the actual count, 7 words. He just keeps repeating it, Yesh Sheva Tevos. So understand that in that phrase there's 7 words. V'hem esrim u'shmona osios, and there's 28 letters in the 7 words. Shebe'edach b'sheva tevos the yesh koach osios. Now he says v'arbabayim v'shnayim osios heim. So he said there's a separate count of 42. It's actually gematria shel sheva osios. It's the gematria of the 7 letters. Of 7 letters, which come to the amount of 42. He has to explain that. So he said, he says, what you actually do here is you take the vavs, and you can remember back to this, the vavs at the beginning of the letters, which are, let's see, Sheva Vav, Shebarosha Tevas, Vav, Yishtava, Vyispor, Vyisroman, Vyisnaze, Vyisadar, Vyisalev, Vyisalal, Sha'olam, Arba, V'shtayim. So these vavs, the vav is a middle letter in the tetragrammaton between the 2 hays. He says the vav is actually, I guess it's a channel. We're trying to move everything up or bring in a certain kind of light. Let's see how he means. Because there's a vav that begins them, and he goes through it once again. And then at that point, you've done 7 of them. 7 vavs. So within that Yehei Shmei Rabbah, let me see. That's not it. This is a different section. This section here is got all the vavs in it. Helim omlin yachta begematria kemitzbar arbaim b'shnayim v'zehu b'chinas amab osius sheyeshna b'kaddish. That's the mob letters that we have over there. Going on to the next page on number Tes Zion. So number Tes Zion, he says, v'tekaven, you have this kavan in mind. Shehem hakoch osius, we have these 28 letters. V'hein sheva vavim anal le'olam misbar mab. M'shem v'vaya b'milui alofim. So you should have in mind this at this point. V'vaya amilui alofim dema. Now, why would we have this? We have 42. We have 28. Hey, Meramaza b'shem havaya dema shehu b'milui alofim kazan. He shows it to us. She'oda b'gematria kamis berma. No. Shehu ba'olam yitzira. So this is actually the name that's in Yitzira. This is the name, the spelling of the name in Yitzira. V'shem havaya demilui alofin who romas the olam yitzira. It's really a reference to olam yitzira. And he says sheyesh b'bechinas koach osios demilui hamilui, which also has in another way, in the milui of the milui of the name Yud Kei Vav Kei. I think he's going to show it to us. That comes out to be another way of producing 28. The milui amuli shel v'shem havaya dema. So we have like two different approaches here. One is the approaches, the vavs that we got with the 42 over there, and the 28 letters of Yehei Shmei Rabbah. And here's a different approach. Concentrate on the word ma. Ma is 45, and he's over milui hamilui shel shem havaya dema. Yesh bo koach osios. There's also 28 letters here, kazeh. And he spells out Yud Vav Daled K Aleph Aleph. Excuse me. Aleph Vav. So the Aleph Lamed Vei. Sorry. So after count them up, there's 28 letters. Sheyesh b'shevet tevus Yesh Shmei Rabbah, which also he says it corresponds to the same 28. Now we're going to get a 42. V'gam yesh b'arbaim b'shnayim osios b'kol klalu. So this it has 20. It has 42 letters in all of its as a group. V'chein b'shtei havayas dema. With these two havayas dema, yesh gam mab osios b'kol klalu shel havaya ugafi sheholech v'faret. So this is something that we know, but it's said in a certain context. So let's read it. Shehem arba osios pshuto. So these are the four letters of the pashut. Medrega Rishon he arba osios a pashut, which is Yud Kei Vav Kei. Then you have the Asara de Milui. That's another 14. Another 10 rather, 14 altogether. Medrega Shnia. He gazel osios and milui the havavai dema gazeh, and he shows you what it is. Ve'esrim b'shmonach of the milui, and then there's another 28 that go along with the milui of the milui and milui the vaya dema kain abo koach osios. So we see that we have over here 28 letters. Kazeh, and he shows you the 28 letters and count them up. Ima eser osios and the milui. V'im koach osios the milui. Harehem mab osios shehem b'chavaya demas. And now you have another 42. He said, so through going through this, the milui hamilui shalchavaya dema. Ramaza b'koach osios sheyesh b'shevet tebus elu, which is referring to that. Shehem Yehei Shmei Rabbah v'vorach la'olam loma l'maya. He said v'harbayim mushnayim. And now the 42 we talked about. V'chem ayedera b'mab sheyesh b'pasha the milui the milui. The Rabbi Demar Ramaza b'Zayin Vavim Shabarosha Tevos. V'yishtabach, and he goes through it, v'yispor, v'yisroma, v'yisnaseh, v'yisadar, v'yisadeh, v'yisalal. He says, Shazayin Vavim Yachtov, Olam B'Gematria Mab, once again, 6 times 7 is 42. mob that we said Kamisbar mob Osius the Chavai the mob Kanisker, and it corresponds to that same mob that we see. So we have two different ways to get to 28 and 42. So now he says a number Kaf Vav. Let's see where we're at here. Number Kaf Vav the Kavin. So you have this Kavanah. The Hamshech Ruach the Yitzira. So now that you looked at these two sets of 28s, two sets of 42s, the Kavanah on them is the Hamshech Ruach the Yitzira, to bring the Ruach aspect of Yitzira, al Shlosh Rishon the Seir Sha'alosham. So Rabbe'oz the Kavin the Hamshech as Bechinas Ruach Ma'olam Yitzira l'Chabad the Olam Asiyah. Sha'alo the Yitzira the Chen Mekabnim Ata Ruach the Yitzira, and as a result of that, they received the Ruach of Yitzira, and now I guess, I'm not sure exactly, but I guess there's a greater incorporation then into Yitzira. V'achar kach v'achar sheyukam v'kavanta b'koach osius d'yehei shmei v'mab mermazach b'shev v'vavim. Now you did those two. And then he says the Yishtabach v'Yispor, etc. Shehem Bechinas HaKoach v'Hamab Shebaosius and Mermazim the Koach Hamab Dema. Then you have also that the Kavin Od Be'esim B'Shmonu Shel Tevos Oz the Kavin Gam B'Koach Tevos. Then you go and you find this. There are actually 28 words. Shehem Esim B'Shmonu Tevos Sheyesh Min Yehei Shmei Rab etc. Ad Miran Ba'Omal Din B'Ramein. So he says, Shehem HaKoach Tevos, I think we'll go a little bit further here. Shehem HaKoach Tevos, KADDISH, Galon, like we say later on, where it says, Yehei Shmei Rabba Mavorach, V'olam Olam Olamaya, Yisbor V'Yishtabach. He's counting them all out for us now. V'Yisbor V'Yisrom V'Yisnaseh, V'Yisadar, V'Yisalev, V'Yisalal, Shemei, the Good Shah, B'Richu, Leila Min Kabirchata, Birchosa, V'Shirosa in Ashkenaz, so there you have that below Tevos v'Ibro Amen. Up until that point, you have another 28. So 28 words. V'tikavin gam ba'arba v'shtayim Tevos, and then also there's a way to count to 42 words. Kamo kain tzarichan the kavin gam b'koach tevos v'heim, and the Rav now explains this, the Mab the Tevos, shevet Tevos atzman, the 7 words themselves, v'yishal yishtabach ad v'yischalel b'kol teva b'chem yesh bo sheish osis hare arbaim v'shnayim. So there's 7 words there, and each one of them has 6 words. So he says, spell it out again. I think we're going to stop after this one. So he said, v'shevet Tevos elu. So these 7, again, v'shevet Tevos elu, shehem v'yishtaba v'yispor v'yisroma v'yisnaseh v'yisadar v'yisalev v'yisalal. He says all of yesh b'kol achad b'hem sheis osio. So here's another way of getting at that. V'shevet pa'amim sheish comes out to be 42. Arbaim v'cheim nikroim mab tevos. So let's stop here. We got just a few minutes, and we'll try to get in some Sifra D'Tzinuta. Okay, today is what? This is the 2nd of what month is this? Kislev. Okay, I moved that there, made that mark, and let's go over here.